again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. This tank is a Foching good tank. Yes, the old saying, Foch you. The Foch 155 is an absolutely remarkable tank. It used to be really good. They changed it, then they changed it, then they changed it, and because of certain consumables, it really has made the tank something again. It really has. Of course, we are talking about the extra speed boost. We're talking about the tungsten shells. Yeah, they just make this tank really good. So we're going to have a couple of games. I had a couple of games by myself, but then people sent me I've got better replays than my battles. So I decided to use them because it does show what the capabilities of this tank. So of course you've got two guns. You can play either this gun here with the auto loader, or you can play it with the single shot gun. Now the single shot gun, you have more DPM. I think you have even more penetrate, or more alpha. Yeah, so actually if you wanted to play it with a single shot gun, then yeah, either, and actually the penetrations are really good. So of course I like to play it with the auto loader. So let's just have, oh my bad, let's have a look at the stats and then we will get into the game. Now the armor's nothing special. It is nothing special. It's okay when it comes to your standard round, but as soon as people do switch to the APCR, like yeah, or the heat, then people can penetrate it very easily. Again, I'm only talking frontally because the side and the rear are really poor. So with the auto loader, you've got 2,864 DPM, which I don't think is bad considering we are running calibrated shells. So that's just over 3k if you run it with if you run it with the vents, so almost 3k. But of course you should be running it with calibrated shells, to be fair, because the penetration on your heat is actually quite nice. So the 17.20 second magazine reload, there is only 2 shells in your magazine, and there is a 3.75 seconds in between each clip. This used to be around about 7 seconds, and more reload, or less reload, sorry, more reload. No, less reload, but it used to also do more alpha, but they've dropped it and it does less alpha, etc., but it is still really good. So your penetration standard is 294 and your heat is 418, which is one of the best in the tier. 97 on your HE. You've now got a 500 alpha gun, not the 600 or 640 it used to have. 480 on your heat and 620 on your HE. Aim time 3.7, gun dispersion 0.326, which I don't think is too bad, to be fair, but it does only have 5 degrees of gun depression, which can absolutely suck. Top speed of 50 kilometers per hour, again, which is really nice. So let's go. We've got my Grand Mug legend friend here who sent me the replay. In fact, I didn't really know that the Foch was as good as it was until this guy messaged me and said, have you played the Foch since it's got all the new consumables, etc.? And pretty much no, I haven't. Is it any good? Because I mean, it's always been a good tank, don't get me wrong, it's always been a great tank, but you know, it kind of, the way, if a tank stays a certain way for a long period of time, it does get kind of boring to play. So yeah, I just got kind of bored of playing it. It wasn't ever a bad tank, as I've said, but now it has had a little change, and if you can get the HE shots, the shells, just like our guy did there, and that was actually a very nice shot. That was very lucky to even be able to penetrate that, and so well done. So yeah, 1 kill so far, 2 tanks down for the green team. The Rhinoceronte is about to die as soon as our guy comes around the corner, smashes into him and gets the kill. Well played. Oh, hello, T95E6. Let's bring him down to a 1 shot as well, and now he has gone. So 2 kills, 2.9k damage. There's 4 tanks left alive, and yeah, you could do a lot of damage in this tank. Like, how you play the tank, it all depends on you, really, because I don't like to play it as a tank destroyer, but you do have to be very careful in the tank if you play it aggressively, because you know you're not going to bounce everything, and then if you are aggressive against the heavy tanks, that they're more likely going to penetrate you quite easily, unless you do angle like that, and then you get a few nice bounces. And if you play it against the mediums, sort of aggressive with your mediums against theirs, then you've got to be careful that they don't get around you. So you just got to be careful how you play it. Make sure you do have at least a little bit of cover. If you don't have rocks or heals, then just try and go with your team, really. Help your team out. We used to have a tank, or we still got a tank, the Object 263, and it was always known as the YOLO wagon, because, you know, you could just rush up against the enemy, rush up into the enemy, and then you just kill them. And your armor was actually pretty decent. People struggled against it. And then this kind of took that place, you know, that it kind of took that place because it had the armor profile to deal with these guys. You could just rush forward, face hug them, wiggle, and you'd always get bounces in this tank. And it can still do that, but you just, you know, people can deal with it. People learn how to deal with certain tanks, and that's the same with this tank. People have learned how to deal with it over the years, and it's just become kind of quite an easy tank to deal with. You've always got to try and look at the tank, of course. You've always got to try and look at your enemy, because you're not going to bounce, and people will be able to shoot HE at you quite easily. So do be careful with that as well. But it's definitely a line worth grinding. Those of you that haven't played the Tier 9, the Tier 9 was once one of the, in my opinion, one of the best Tier 9 tank destroyers. It had crazy DPM, 400 plus alpha, but the DPM was crazy. But Wargaming did kind of nerf that a little bit, and it's not as good. So we're just going to fast forward it a little bit, because our guy is just going to sort of rush forward, and then he's going to hit the tungsten shells and then just get a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, is he going to survive it? No, he's not, but it doesn't matter. He gets the win. I don't really know why Wargaming added the tungsten shells or the speed boost. I mean, it's a really quick tank, like a really quick tank. Did it need the extra speed boost? Hell no, it didn't. But I'm not going to complain, because the speed boost is great. I love the speed boost. And again, the tungsten shell. Did it need the tungsten shell? Not really, but it definitely has helped. And because of these two consumables, it's changed the tank. It really has changed the tank. You can get there really quickly. As soon as a tank comes out, you can still do that 500, as we've just seen there, the 560 plus damage. But yeah, always used in whatever tank you're playing at. Always use the tungsten shells when you've at least got one shot. You don't want to press it early and then a tank sort of hides. You think he's going to come out, you press it, and then he doesn't come out. Obviously, if you really want to press it when you can guarantee 2 shots, because you want to maximize that, but it's not always you can guarantee the 2 shots, because you're intricate of the 3.8 seconds. You take 1 shot, and then sort of almost 4 seconds later you might not have that shot. So it's always worth it is always a risk using that tungsten shells, because of course as soon as you use it, then you've got quite a long time that you can't use it again. But yeah, it's definitely changed the tank, and again, I really don't know why Wargaming gave it this. Now, we do get a little bit lucky here. This guy gets quite a lot of damage, I'm not going to lie, but when you've got 2 tanks, 2 very, very good tanks, I mean, the 60 TP, which is an amazing tank, the Object 268 version 4, which is an OP tank, both of these guys are AFK, and God knows what that guy, that Motion there is doing. Very nice. That was a bit greedy, I'm not going to lie. There's an AFK. I think this guy's AFK as well. So there's, oh my god. Oh my god, did you just see that? 2 shells? How greedy was our guy? Like, there's 4 guys over here in total, all rubbing their hands, all of them rubbing their hands at 3 AFKs. Now, our FOCH gets 2 shots on the object, and then bang, bang, all my damage, thank you very much. And with 2 lucky shots, I mean, 2 lucky shots, over 4,000 damage, actually almost 5,000 damage with their hit points. Absolutely insane. And before you know it, He's on 7,300 damage. Now, when you watch the outcome of this with this game, fair play to the enemy that are actually playing. You know, there's 4 tanks left alive on the green team. Fair enough, they're pretty much all full hit points. But to bring it down to 4 tanks, considering you pretty much had 3 tanks AFK, they've done a very good job, and you can't complain about that. When you've got 3 AFK players and you come off the way you did, and not almost win the game, but you gave it your best shot. You know, that's all you can do. You can always only give your best shot, and as long as you've gave your best shot, then I never have any complaints about winning or losing. If I end the game with 7,000 or 8,000 damage, but we lose, at least you can hold your head up high and think, you know what, at least I tried. At least I tried. Now, our guy finishes with over 9,000 damage. And as you see at the start of the replay as well, with my replay, or my little clip, it's not too difficult to get ammo racks in this thing. But well played, nice ammo racks, absolutely beautiful ammo racks there. Look at that, 4 players, all 0 damage. Fair enough, 3 of them were AFK, but you know, the other 3, I mean, look at their damage. They gave it their best shot. So I'm not the M103, but the other 3 gave it their best shot. So definitely a tank worth grinding right now, because it is a fantastic tank. And now is the time to play the fucking FOCH. Well, not the fucking FOCH, the Foching FOCH. Sorry, I swore. But now, yeah, now's the time to play it. So go play the FOCH. It is an amazing tank. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsyreplays. Let me know what you think of the FOCH 155. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.